Hello, my lovelies. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most insidious tools of control that has ever existed or was ever created, and that's shame. Shame is a spell. It was cast to make you forget your power, your fire, your holiness, your gifts, your value, your worth. But here's the wonderful thing that we don't usually think about when we're thinking about spells, and that's that they can be broken. So shame has been weaponized for centuries as the ultimate control mechanism used to silence women, to erase Black and Brown wisdom, to separate us from our bodies, from our pleasure, our truth, and our ancestral power. The goal today is to break that spell. Welcome back to season 4 of the U R Immeasurable Podcast. I'm your host, Tonesha Hyde, holistic business manager and alchemist, dragonfire energy healer, and revealer of the ancient truths. This space is where shadow work meets the dark feminine, where goddess power awakens in your bones, and where divine alignment becomes not just a way of life, but also how we do business. Together, we'll reclaim our fire, embody our sovereignty, and rise into the immeasurable truth of who we really are. So every Wednesday, a new episode will drop, and there will be bonus sparks of inspiration and special series throughout the season. So go ahead and grab your tea, your coffee, or your glass of wine, and let's journey together, because your power was never meant to be measured. It was meant to be remembered. So let's talk about it. Shame is not born from truth. It's born from conditioning. It's the echo of every voice that has ever told you that you're too much. It's tied to every rule that says what is and what is not sacred or holy. It's every system that has told us or taught us or beat us over the head with, we should just be grateful for whatever we've been allowed to have. The goal of shame is always disconnection. It's always about making you question your worth, to make you into the self police, and ultimately to keep you small. Those are the things that make shame a spell. So let's define a spell, right? A spell is anything that binds your energy, a belief or a belief system. So with that being said, we begin to recognize that shame has been one of the strongest spells that has been passed down, that has been normalized, that has been encouraged, and it's been disguised as morality or decency. So now that we've defined it, let's use that definition to bring some other things into clarity. Think of it this way, looking at supremacy, looking at what we've been taught patriarchy is all about, and even religion. All of these things, they work together to teach us as women that purity or desirability is equal to or requires obedience, that silence equals us being safe, that being powerful in who we are is equal to sin. And we have stone cold, hardcore examples, facts about these things. Remember, they burned our healers because they considered them to be witches. And that's both male and female. They stripped away our sensuality because they decided that it was shameful. Even when it comes to those of us that are indigenous, Black, or brown, they took our ancestral rituals, languages, and cultures. They took them away from us because they called them pagan, savage, or even demonic. See how shame has been used to control us? And these few things here that I've just mentioned, it's not just about social control. This has been and still is full on spiritual warfare. And we have allowed it to bind us and keep us bound. Their spell has worked. But now we can change that. It's completely up to us. And that's why it is so important to get in touch with your innermost true self. The spell is now needing to be broken. And that is why we hear and we see and we are even feeling this rise, this surge, the fire of the dark feminine's medicine. She is here to help us to heal. The story of many of the goddesses that usually represent this energy, when we get to learning about them and studying their story, we realize that's one of the reasons that they were labeled dark, because they didn't accept the spell. They didn't comply. They didn't go along. They wouldn't just smile and be pretty. We know their names. We know about Lilith. We know about Oya. We know about Medusa. These powerful feminine archetypes, they were the first to say, I have nothing to do with your shame. I will not accept it. I will not let you tie this to me. And each and every one of us has the ability, if we so desire, to reclaim that dark feminine energy, fire, and power for ourselves, within ourselves. We can reclaim the innocence that was stolen from us because of these control systems, because of these spells. We can decide that being spellbound by these things is not going to be what defines us. We can reset and get back to our true selves. That is the innocence that I'm talking about. Us being pure 100% in who we were created and born to be. We can get back to that. And we can reject everything that came with the conditioning. We can reclaim the purity, the sensuality, the holiness of our body, of this temple that our soul and our spirit is housed in. We can reclaim the fire and the sacredness of our rage. And if we're brave enough, we can dive into and learn of the purity of our pleasure. This is the path of the dark feminine. And the dark feminine teaches us that interacting, accepting, and confronting our shadows is not a sin. It is part of what makes us sovereign. And when we start tapping into our sovereignty, that is the fire that will begin to burn that shame away. And it's that flame, that fire that will help us to birth this new path, this new stage, this new season of freedom. So you might ask, how do I break the spell? I'll give you a simple way to do that. Take your time, get by yourself, and find your center. Find that quiet space, that sacred space, that space that is only for you. And once you get to that place or that space, just begin to breathe and be in the moment. Allow yourself to be in the moment with your breath, with your body. And once you've connected with that space, place your hand over your heart and begin to speak to yourself, to your soul, to your spirit, and to your heart. Speak what it is that you want. Speak that you release all the shame that does not belong to you. From that space, from that connection to your heart, speak to it and let it know that shame no longer has a hold or has any grip on you, because you are releasing all of the shame that does not belong to you, that it may fall to the ground and that it may die. And just repeat this to yourself as often as you need to. Speak to yourself that you are not broken, that you are not dirty, and that you are not wrong for being powerful, for being angry, for being divine, or for being emotional or sensual. Honoring this truth. This is how you dismantle the spell that has been holding you captive. Every time you open your mouth and use your voice, those chains weighing you down begin to loosen in preparation to release you. And every time you connect with yourself, your innermost, deepest parts, and love all of those things about yourself, all of those things that come with you being you wholly and completely, that is you breaking the spell. So as you listen to my words, I hope that you receive this knowledge, this wisdom, this opportunity to be free. It is my hope that you will allow yourself to evaluate how shame has been holding you back, preventing you from going forward, and keeping you stuck. I want you to look at the ways, the times, the situations that you made yourself small in, especially those where you did that for someone else's comfort. And I want you to do this because I want you to know that truth is something that shame can't survive in the presence of. So take your time with this message. Take time with these instructions or encouragements. Take time to let them sink in, set in. Because in this moment, we decided that we're no longer going to forget. But what we are going to do is we're going to remember who we are, what we came here to do, promises we were sent to fulfill. That is what we're going to do. So if you need to light a candle while you do these things, go ahead, do that. If you need to look at yourself in the mirror while you're speaking these things, do that. It is definitely time to love on yourself and to break this spell. Until next time, I love you. Cheers to your transformation. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of You Are Immeasurable. I hope something in today's conversation sparked a remembering, a shift, or even just a softening in your spirit. If you loved this episode, do me a favor. Please share it with someone who needs it, and make sure you're following the show so that you never miss a new activation. You can connect with me over on Instagram or Facebook at Agitator Hyde. That's my handle on all platforms. DMs are always open if you want to go deeper. If If you have questions or you just want to share how the episode landed for you, or you can also comment on whichever platform you are listening to this episode on. Always remember, your power, your path, and your purpose are already within you. You are absolutely not broken. You are blossoming. You are becoming. And remember, you are immeasurable. So until next time, be well, be bold, and stay true to the divine within you.